Capcom is doing what pretty much every other gaming company is doing, and they are trying to bring life back to their company by reviving old classic IPs through new releases, remakes, and ports, which is what pretty much every freaking gaming company is doing nowadays, because the gaming industry is in a fucking rot, and we need something to bring them back. So what better way than to than to take all the old IPs they love and try and bring them back. So, in their newest integrated report, Capcom leadership stated that the company is looking into reviving some of its classic IPs like Devil May Cry, Ace Attorney, and Mega Man on the modern hardware. Although Capcom listed these three examples that it has in its repertoire, the company added that it would do so as a way to expand and cultivate its fan base. Now, if we look at these three that they mentioned, so Devil May Cry, the last Devil May Cry game was 2019 with Devil May Cry 5. I mean, you have the special edition, but it's really a port, let's be honest. So Devil May Cry 5 was the last Devil May Cry game back in 2019. So they plan to do, what, Devil May Cry 6? Or a spin-off? Or do we get the Devil May Cry HD Collection 2 where they just port this over to PS5? That might actually be a good thing. Actually, maybe you should do that. Like, who knows, right? But the last one was 2019, so, like, over 5 years ago. Ace Attorney's always, like, going strong. They just did the Apollo Justice trilogy, so they've been doing, like, compilations with Ace Attorney for the last little while, which is a good thing, because, it keeps the series going. So the last, like, new game was in 2016, but they've been doing these compilations, right? Like the Phoenix Wright trilogy, right here, right? Then they got the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, and they got the Apollo Justice trilogy, then the Investigations collection. Like, they have been keeping Ace Attorney alive, I will say, and it's great to have these compilations come out so more people can play them. Mega Man is the big one. I think everyone wants. The last Mega Man game was Mega Man 11 back in 2018. Now, they have been doing collections of Mega Man, so that is good. Right, that is good. They have been doing Mega Man collections, right? They got the Mega Man Battle Network collection. They got the Mega Man XZX collection, right? They have just the standard Mega Man Legacy collection. So they have been doing that. So for Mega Man and Ace Attorney, even though there hasn't really been any new games, I feel like that they've done a pretty decent job with keeping them going through these ports. Now, obviously, people want a Mega Man 12, right? Absolutely. People would love a new Ace Attorney game. Absolutely. Devil May Cry, no one's going to say no. I mean, Devil May Cry had the animation on Netflix, which the thing about that animation is if you know jack about Devil May Cry, you'll watch it and go, hey, it's pretty good. You know Devil May Cry, you watch that, you're going to go, this is shit. So that's how I felt while watching it. So, there's that. But looking at what they've done this year, they've had the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, which is just a collection of old games. And then Monster Hunter Wilds was their one new game this year. And that did really well for them. So good for them. Monster Hunter is also a big IP for them. So a new installment in a big IP. We know that they have new things planned for a lot of their other IPs. Of course, Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 9 comes out next year. And we know that there is a Resident Evil movie upcoming. Is it next year as well? There's going to be a new Resident Evil movie coming out next year as well. So I believe it's next year as well that there's going to be a new movie. So there's that. Now they've also, continuing with the IPs and all that, they have announced stuff for other IPs. So Okami's got a sequel coming out. Right? I think everyone's been wanting an Okami sequel since forever, so they have an Okami sequel in development, and Onimusha is getting a brand new video game next year, Onimusha Way of the Sword. So they are keeping the Onimusha brand, reviving that. The last Onimusha game before that was 20 fucking years ago, with Onimusha Dawn of Dreams was the last new game. Holy fuck. Like, you look at that fucking huge thing, then they're like, remaster. Right? Yeah, we'll put a remaster out, whatever. Yeah, remaster, that's good. And then 2026, they're like, finally, new game. Right? fucking crazy, dude. 20 years in between games. That's nuts. So, you know what? At least there you go. Onimusha, Okami. We know that they have stuff planned for that. Resident Evil's always chucking along, so we got new Resident Evil coming out next year along with a movie. We just had the new Street Fighter like 2 years ago or something, so I think we can wait a bit for Street Fighter or something. These Capcom fighting collections have been coming out. They had the Marvel Capcom fighting collection too, by the way. So like that's still coming out, and yeah, I think Capcom is in a good place. You know, especially if you want to take these three, Devil May Cry, Ace Attorney, Mega Man, and you want to bring them back, absolutely people will be there for that. You've got stuff planned for Okami and Onimusha to bring them back. Resident Evil's always going along, so that's nice. We just had Monster Hunter, a new Monster Hunter game, so that's always good. So for Capcom, if they plan to really go into it, like, hell yeah, dude. Go right ahead. Now they also say, like, what are other IPs that people would love is Ghost and Goblins, Dino Crisis, and Breath of Fire. I know people would love a new Dino Crisis. Absolutely. If you made a brand new Dino Crisis, you just remade it, oh, people would eat it up. So there we go. Now Capcom is now no longer has joined the fray, I should say, because Sega's been doing this. Sega has been reviving old IPs. They got a new Crazy Taxi game in the works, right? I think people said they want to do stuff with Jet Set Radio as well. And then you have the IPs that they always are going forward with, which is stuff like Monkey Ball, which is always going. Persona is one of their big ones. Then we know Persona 6 is in development, and who fucking knows whenever that's going to come out. Persona 4 revival is coming out soon. Well, not soon, but it's coming out. And then, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog is always their big one. They just had Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which is still going on. And next year's Sonic's 35th anniversary, so we'll see what they do there. So Sega's doing stuff, always bringing in, reviving old IPs. Capcom now intends to do the same. I'm all for it as long if you do it right. Like that's my thing. I want you to, if you want to bring back these IPs with new releases and remakes and all that, I'm all for it. Right? I'm all for playing games that are like it's too hard to find a copy of nowadays, and they're from like systems of yesteryear, and you bring them to the modern ones so other people can play them now. I'm all for that as long as it's done right. As long as you're not, changing shit for the mythical modern audience and you're doing it for the actual fans. Then I'm all for it. If you want to make a Mega Man 12, you better make a Mega Man 12 for the Mega Man fans. You want to make Devil May Cry 6, you better make it for the Devil May Cry fans, not the whoever made the fucking Netflix show. All right? That's what I'm saying. That's what I want. If you're going to make these new releases, do it for the fans of the actual series. So, there we go. Just thought I'd give my 2 cents, my 2 Canadian pesos on this. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. And what series, what IPs do you want Capcom to do a new thing with? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see you all next time.